going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to Math Partake. In this video, we're going to glance over what you need to know before completing the type of examples that you see here. You're going to know what the answer should look like. And then we're going to go over the steps to reach your answer, which are really very, very simple. Now, these can look tricky sometimes, but it's really not a hard process at all. Now, let me just give you an idea of the layout really quick. What you see at the top right-hand corner is what you need to know. Now, you need to know the definition of a function. And as I've said in several videos before, that the definition of a function is a relationship between one or more variables where the x value does not repeat. You also need to know the vertical line test. Now, the vertical line test is the key to this whole process. Now, if you look at the top left-hand corner, it's our question. Does the graph represent a function? Then we have two examples. Example 1 shows you a graph. You see here we have our x-axis that goes left to right. And then we have our y-axis that goes up and down. It's the same thing in example 2. We have our graph laid out, but this one is actually a circle as opposed to the first example that is some sort of curved line. Okay? Now, in the end, you're going to state whether the graph represents a function or not, okay? Now, I'm going to actually give you the answer first and then show you how this works. So, example 1, this is a function. Example 2 is not a function. Now, check this. The reason that one graph is a function and the other is not a function is because the graph on the left passes the vertical line test, and the graph on the right fails the vertical line test. Let me show you what I'm talking about with this vertical line test. So to do the vertical line test, you simply place a straight edge or a vertical line at the end of the x-axis, any end that you want, and you're going to move it or drag it along to the other end of the x-axis. Let's look at example 1. I'm going to take this line and move it from one side of the x-axis to the other. Take notice of the points my vertical line meets on the graph. No matter how far along that we move this vertical line, there's only one point in which the vertical line meets the graph. So our answer is clear that yes, this is a function. And that is our answer. Let's look at example 2. If we apply the same vertical line test, look what happens. As the vertical line travels along the x-axis, we see that the vertical line meets the graph at 2 different points. That's more than one. They meet here and they meet here. So that means that the x value repeats, and our answer is that this is not a function. Let's look at 2 more examples. Now look at examples 3 and 4. Let's draw our vertical line and move it across the x-axis to see if the vertical line test passes or fails. Now this vertical line test fails because the vertical line meets the graph at 2 different points at the same exact time, as you see here. So the answer is, this is not a function. Let's start our vertical line test with example 4. As you see, the vertical line is already moving, and we see clearly that the x value, it doesn't repeat. So this is a function. When the vertical line is moving across the x-axis, It only touches 1 point on the graph and no more. Let's look at our final 2 examples. So now example 5 and 6 show some interesting graphs. And I chose these because many students find them to be kind of tricky, because example 5, they may confuse the actual x-axis with being another line that's plotted on the graph. But it's not. It's just the x-axis. So with that being said, let's do our vertical line test. Now as we're going across, you should be noticing that the vertical line never meets the graph at more than 1 point. So this is the function. The x does not repeat. Let's look at example number 6. This is actually a little different. When we do our vertical line test, we see that our vertical line meets the graph at infinitely many points. So this is more than 1, this is more than 2, the number actually never stops. So this definitely fails the vertical line test. The x value repeats many times. So our answer is that this is not a function. And we're done. So listen, that completes our video for today on graphs representing a function and the use of the vertical line test. If this video helped you in any way, subscribe to my channel. Peace and love. I'll see you soon.